Alright, greetings everybody and welcome to what's going to be starting a new account here on JP. This is for tutorial purposes. I am not continuing this account, nor do I have any interest in continuing this account. We will try and cover things like basically what it looks like to start a new JP account, what you can get from it, and if you're quick enough, you can actually potentially snag some of the Final Fantasy IX characters before they disappear again back into void of a black hole. But so once you if you've already watched the previous video, you've installed this game already, you're gonna go in here, you're gonna click OK and just continue on. Blue is good, red is cancel. Most of the time we're gonna put in our name. You can enter it into hiragana, katakana, whatever you want. For this video we're going to be doing as test test. You can do it as far up to 12 characters. That's totally fine. Skip through the tutorial if you want, and there is going to be a pretty big download. This game's been going on for a while, so there's not much you can do about this. We're getting about 5 gigs, so we're going to download this and see you back. We are finished. Alright, and welcome back everyone. So let's continue on. Now we have downloaded the game data. We have a little bit more data to download. Going directly into it now. Much as just playing the global version, we are going to get bothered a fairly bit by Ramada here. Don't feel too personal about it. It's just what she has to essentially do. We'll go through, skip through this animation just to make things a little bit faster. Yerma, not the best, but hey, if you have been a long time global player, you will probably find most of these menus and systems incredibly similar to what you have seen before. You're going to play through all of this kind of stuff. You're going to see generally what you can get going. Here we're going to just throw in our new character here. We're going to go through all of this tutorialization. And there you go, you're set. So we'll go through this. We'll essentially let the game run through itself. But again, playing through JP is really not that different from playing through global. Both of the versions essentially are almost identical to each other with just a few accessible things, and particularly language difference. Personally, I mean, Google Translate on your phone, if you're playing on PC, works really, really well to just quickly figure out what is going on, what, if anything, you need to check and whatnot. Doesn't take too terribly long. But yeah, we'll just let this run through. And you should be able to relatively easily be able to get acclimated very quickly. And generally with the amount of stuff that is presented early on to new players, you'll be able to really quickly get back in and start going to a successful mission. So there you go, we've completed this story mission. We'll get that nice little bit of everything, rank up. And we're going to do a bunch of clicking, going through all of this kind of stuff here. We're going to skip through the story because we actually we're not that fussed about it. If the game would just load just a wee bit faster, we could probably get a little bit quicker. But now we're going to be taken into our main section here. And we're just going to be going. Again, clicking through essentially everything that we need to see here. And then Ramada will probably still continue talking. So here we'll take a look at basically what you will get for a new player login to get you started. Very similar to what you see on Global. However, at this point, starting a new account on Global will not give you these resources and you can't actually use them. Starting off 3,000 lapis for multi-poll tickets, and then you have basically a good amount of lapis that you will get through a 7-day login system. You'll also be brought in to specifically what the logins are currently going on. Click through all of that, monthly rewards and everything. And there's also a few other things that you can see here. This is the new player experience. Going through this will net you a bunch of other rewards, resources that you can use. Just go through them, essentially tip by tip, play through them. They're really not figure out what is going on. but we're not going to take too much of a look at that. Also, if we look here, you can also see that there is a little bit of some stuff to do with job points and whatnot. Don't worry too much about that. And up here, we have all of our challenge boards to do with characters that are currently accessible. Again, if you've been playing Global, the Veritas units, the selection quests, all of these things are very, very familiar to what you are. And again, if you're looking to translate it, the Japanese isn't that difficult, but just, again, having a quick little phone handy or capturing a screenshot and throwing it into a web browser translation service that just uses a picture will be more than adequate to figure out what needs to be done. And you just take it at your own pace, essentially, and go from there. As you go through and rank up, you'll also unlock the Chocobo Expeditions, beginning, as well as Guild, which unlocks at rank 8. If you can find just a general one, you're looking for a English-based guild. I can try and organize something like that, potentially a Discord or whatever. Currently, my current one is actually pretty full, but if there's enough global people, we might be able to make a few English guilds possible. This button right here is our Moogle shop. Going into it, you will have access to spending the coins that you would have garnered from going on different banners and whatnot. Veritas coins, all of this is set up relatively, or if not completely similar to what you will find servers. Not too hard, not too far away. Going into the actual banners is where you do your daily polls and what you'll have to do an initial download. Here you can see your daily free polls to get you started on it, also where you will see tickets. Here you can, if you again create this account relatively soon, as there's only about 4 days left in the Final Fantasy IX event, you get your copy of Garnet. And here we have the 3 select 120 characters that go up to Ramada. And there are lots of different characters in here depending on what you want, but probably Ramada, Shreken, Luciel are some of the best options now, but you do have ability to select. What you do want to be careful with is in the confirming. There actually is no really good confirm system here, so it is possible to use the same character 3 different times. If you do this, well, you can make a pretty easy mistake, so you want to be very, very careful about selecting your rank. Here you go, we have our Tacto 3 in a row, ready already to make getting through the story and everything considered easier. Garnet, very, very quick. No extra URs, but that's okay. We're not too fussed about it. If you are particularly worried about the amount of potential time that there is left before the end of specific banners, then you may want to go ahead and just pull for Kuja, as he will, and his vision card will disappear. They're probably the ones that you want to focus on. There's also Vivi, that is a fan favorite character. And at the very bottom, this is where you will do your daily shard pull. There is no video pull on JP, essentially just shard pulls for free. You do not need to anything, but there's also a bunch of different banners that you can see for starting out as a JP player. You know, if you are interested in going on these banners, you need to buy Lapis from the JP version, which does require a Play account, either with an international credit card or a Google Play Japanese currency card. That is something that I will be covering later, but there are other guides out there to create a JP Google Play account or JP Apple account should you need to, and you are in a rush to do that. As you can see, also the select a banner will go all the way up to full set of the most recent characters. This may be updated in the near future or into the month of April. Usually newer characters are added to this, so if you're looking for Wind more, you may need to sacrifice the Final Fantasy IX characters to get her, or if you choose the FF9 characters, well, I mean, you have lots of free polls there's a good chance that eventually you will just land the character you want anyway, but there are these kind of select banners, just like there are starting on global, to help you get started. Choose the characters and vision cards that you need. Check out if you are looking for some of the best team compositions. Those are previous videos that I and other players have done with selecting, but is a little bit too much for us to cover in this video. Also, you want to be going through this one right away because, again, we'll give you just a smattering of characters that you start using into your brand new account. And if we're just talking about like starting a new account, it's not too bad to essentially start a new account right now. You can get relatively up to speed. Obviously not as good as a long-term account, but that would be kind of disingenuous to long-term say that, hey, guess what, this new player, yeah, they have a basically account. Is a little unfair. But just going through this, I want to quickly just go through this to show some of the options. You can choose which characters you want, of course, but I strongly recommend going for Flag Glassy, who's just generally a character. Some of the other ones are a little bit more free as to which you want, whether you want a water account or not. But I also want to get to this part where Spring Joom, Gilgamesh, and Shrekken should be a little bit of a consideration for how you do your 3 selective 20 characters and which ones you essentially want to go with. Remembering that this step 4 also gives you 400 orbs for whichever character you heavily want to focus. But just going through all of this, we can do essentially all of our daily polls and be done and ready to get on with Jeff. Game. Playing through the story, completing missions and everything will eventually net you a ton of resources anyway. Do a lot of builds and pulling of characters. As you can see, we're going to get more tutorialization as we pull out characters. And next, we'll go into this. Now, this is the present option. As you can see on JP, it is just much slimmer than the global version. Right here, just go through and click through this. So as you accept a lot of stuff, there's going to be a lot of different rewards that you are going to get to help you again going and started on your account. Of course, you will have to get through a bunch of animations. Hey, that's what you're going through, and you can see we're just going to go through this. We're going to take a look at everything we get from this. So all the animations. There's Siren. Yep, Siren pops up. That VC, this VC, and this. It's gonna take a little bit. Okay, so we're free and clear at this point, and just from our initial first day launch, 13k VC or Visior, that's pretty good. If you are going to be re-rolling this account, then you're essentially just going to want to uninstall and reinstall using the APK method or the QoApp method or whichever version you potentially are using, but then you'll be able to go in and do more pulls. But for the sake of this video, we don't want to just do pulls, we want in other stuff. So next up, going through some other menus. First, we have the shop menu here. Going through this, you'll have a beginner-based shop, which will have a bunch of stuff, both for paid and free Visior. You can potentially get to help you get up to speed in just building your characters quickly, as well as equipment-based shops, which again, Visior or not, if you want to actually end the Visior, don't think it's personally worth it, as if we were just to look in here, we already have 233 stamina pots. That's quite a bit of get us going, and quickly as you rank up, you'll build up. Well, the FF9 event, which I do recommend picking up this just for some extra stamina to help through stuff. Also does our daily shop purchases, and again, paid Visior options. However, you'll probably want to get moving relatively quickly and start spending some of that gold maybe on shards for some of the characters that are available. Of course, that is up to you. Now, taking a look, you can also buy characters here on JP for roughly 12k Visior. Depends on what it is in your currency, but it's roughly about 200 American dollars if going that route. However, I would be very cautious. I just given what has happened in global. Next up, this one, guild menu. If you're familiar with it on global, you'll be very familiar with it here. It's almost the exact same thing, so don't worry too much about it. Next up, we have arena tab with arena on the left, which is rank 12, and match or PvP, so you can start building up those medals to get the Veritas units. This unlocks at rank. Be able to start doing that relatively quickly because ranking up in this is. Now over here we have the far plane menu with regular far plane for quests, PvP, or sorry, not PvP. What's the now? Like match, working with other players, cooperativeness. We have the porcelain tower, Esper battles, election quest battle, reliquary battle, and all in a general menu system, which then unlocks as you get through the story. So that, and then over here we have our actual story menu, which again, when you start a new account, you will get basically free maps that energy. You can use that energy for other things, general farming, but there you go. Also, taking a quick look at JP, you will have this to favorite potentially maps that you like. So if you go in here, not sure if this is available on global, but I thought I'd just mention it anyway. You click this little button up here and it will actually favorite a map. Map you like farming, then potentially that. This button right here will take you through to the far plane, and the button on the left will actually take you through to hard quest farming that you will be doing daily, of course, but you need to complete the story a little bit further to actually block it. And then we bring it back to our main menu just to see what we have here. So we have the beginner button right here. Here we have daily mission. You can spend these coins on getting your bonuses. Again, translation app. However, once you become very familiar with them, you'll be very good. This one is your daily hard quests. First one right up here where I'm clicking. Item, selling item bonuses, vision cards. You can tell by the vision cadeau. So bonuses for leveling those up. And the bottom two are, I do believe, espers and equipment. But going through here, you'll be able to collect your daily medals. These are just based essentially the same as they were in global. Completing story quests, building equipment, all of the things you will become very familiar with over the month. Don't stress too much about it. Just keep it relatively easy. This button is your Vizier purchase bonus. So if you do end up buying Vizier up to 5,000 in a given time period, you will get these kind of bonuses for going all the way 5K Vizier. And then we just have a few other options to look at. This one, your in-game news. This one, your friend, which if you're looking for friends, I'm sure I can make some to help you out as good friend, as a good friend account. Here is your daily missions. You will get some extra bonus for in currently account, but generally it has been made more streamlined. Buy something from a shop, do a story mission, do an arena, do your daily shard summon, send gifts to friends, and then you also have these Veritas medals for doing PvP matches. Well, in here, then when you go over here, this is where you will get access to essentially all of your bonuses for doing various things in the game. Will help you rank up and everything like that. Get you further on. As you can see, we're already ranked 16, so we've already unlocked it. Your titles and credits, quest related stuff, battling, event related things. Basically anywhere where there's a red mark, just go through, click through, and get it, kind of thing. As you can see, we're already up to stamina. On the far right, top one is team composition up here. So here you will be able to go in, build your teams. Pretty straightforward. Top left is quest, duels here, match here, guild here. And then we also have friend setting as well as test setup. So you all of those as to heart's content. No, thank you. No, thank you. Again, we're unlocking stuff, so Armada wants to show us. You can do these tutorials as well. For the sake of this video, I'm the tutorial, so much. The one underneath, that'll be units. Then we have equipment, which unlocks after story is complete enough. Espers, which will also unlock after story it gets far enough, and vision. Then this bottom menu here, this is kind of a little bit important. You can see your player card in here if you want to change your name. Do it. You can also see your friend ID, just in case you need that. Now, next up, we have the item tab here. If you want inventory and resources, if you want to play any of the story again, you can do it directly in here, including videos. Then we have our options. This one, if you are interested in sound, player anti-burn-in screens, this is what that option is set for. The other options, not too terribly important right now, so you check them out at your own leisure, including the download option, as well as just the general message option. If you don't want messages, but generally pretty good. Next up, we have the stamp pad where you can check in for daily. Over here, we have a help guide, which will take you to an FAQ. However, if you have been playing Votive before, this should be easy. Bottom left basically shows you, or this button down here shows the amount of Visior you have, both free and paid. General unit tips and help. And then over here, we have data transfer. Data transfer can be done multiple different ways. I do recommend that if you are going to be playing, you should be protecting your account. You can connect it directly through Square Enix Bridge, which requires a Square Enix account, which you will probably need a JP account. So this one you can try. I'm not too terribly sure. However, the more likely better method is this one. Copy down the actual player ID you have and set an actual password. This will make it so that you are able to cover your account if anything happens. So please remember to do that. And then there's also a few other things about the main website and whatnot, which are not too video. But if you played this game before, you will be very, very familiar. Playing through the actual game is not that much more different. It just is kind of a little bit of a marathon to get your account up and going. It's very quick to get into guilds and whatnot, and given some of the amount of resources that you get and everything, if you want to reroll and whatnot, you can end up with a account after a few days, maybe missing some equipment, but generally able to kind of stand on its own as you get new characters, vision cards, and everything. You can see right now, just going through this, we are able to kind of quickly just roll through, see what we get. If we're not happy, uninstall, reinstall, play through again, see if you get what you are actually looking for. Set up with a good account. Right now, it's completely possible to start generating a very strong account if you go for Karsha and Kuja at the same time. Minimize that for a second there. As you can see, this account, not particularly that lucky for them. No, whatever. Anyway, that's a general guide to just getting started on. I don't think that it is really that difficult or that you need that much Japanese. I will make more guides into the future looking at it, but this is just a general look at what starting JP account looks like, what you're kind of getting by the end of it, and everything like that. Just do this one really quickly, and we'll also try on the Karsha banner. Always choose a 90 because these things are really hard to get. We'll go for Dark Odin. That makes sense. But you look at this, 2k paid. I mean, getting 90 cost Esper, pretty good for a starting account. And everything like that. And if we just go down here, you see Karsha right here. Yeah. We go the step. You thought it was going to be Karsha. But yeah, you can free to re-roll as much as you want. Don't think that you need to particularly try hard, but you know, people will want generally a good start, and if you can get Kuja and Karsha right now, I'd have to say that that's a pretty overall successful new account that you would be able to run quite well. Just getting Earth Sadali in there too, and you'll be essentially having a very, very capable new account that is able to play in Guild Wars, have a decent enough start. Just need the vision cards and equipment, but you can work towards all of them. And a lot of you are is not hitting Karsha. She doesn't particularly like me either on JP or Global, or on any JP. Most times I've seen yellow books. I mean, this doesn't really. Anyway, so this is a general light look at what starting a JP version is. Looks like what you can end up getting or not end up getting in the case of Umbra right now. Rerolling and whatnot, everybody is kind of familiar with, and if you're unhappy with it, just log out, delete your account, start over again, go figure out what you kind of want, and go from there. So hopefully this has been helpful, enlightening. If there is still questions you have, please leave it in the comments below, and I'll try and answer it with videos as quickly as I possibly can. Thank you so much for watching. Later.